Okay, moving on. Any job openings or internship opportunities that anybody wants to announce? Brianna? Lavanya. And yes, I did want to welcome the members of the Distinguished Young Gentlemen in America. Our special. And as Shonda shared, I am actually leaving the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, so the association is currently looking for a new press secretary. So if you know anyone who is interested in talking about things like minimum wage and red tide and Visit Florida and all the incredible things that attract tourists to our state every year, and the importance of the hospitality industry to our economy, let me know. Email me. I'm trying to help find my replacement. All right, so moving on now. I want to give a special thanks to Representative Alexander, who has made it possible, essentially, for us to be here. His incredible staff worked with Zoe and the old Capitol folks to make this happen, and we could not be here without him. So thank you so very, very much. The representative is incredibly passionate about mentoring youth, and he helped found the Distinguished Young Gentlemen of America, and we are blessed and fortunate to have some of them with us tonight. So welcome. We are so glad you guys are here. It's been great to watch you sort of make your way around the Capitol and try to force you to talk to Dontaye. But that was good, and I hope you enjoyed the macaroni and cheese balls. I saw a couple of you chowing down, you guys, and we share a soul. Okay, I just want you to know that. You are my people with macaroni and cheese. The last person I would really like to recognize tonight is the most likable president our chapter has ever had. Her name is Kathy Schroeder. She owns and runs Schroeder Communications, and without her generous sponsorship, we would not have been able to have so many distinguished young gentlemen with us tonight. So special thanks to Kathy. All right. Now if I can have the representative up to introduce Dontaye Carter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I'm truly elated to be here today and to see so many faces, to have this opportunity to be in such an historic place. And we have someone that's doing significant work that I have the honor and the privilege to introduce today. The first thing is, I personally believe that anyone that steps out on faith, they have certain characteristics. One is they're bold, they're visionary, and they're courageous. And our speaker this evening is absolutely bold, he is visionary, and he is courageous. He has mastered the art of storytelling. He has mastered the 3 M's of communication. And he has never forgotten from whence he's come. And from some of my research, and I won't tell his story because I'm sure he's going to share some of the story tonight, he is a product that is not necessarily where you start, but is how you finish. That you don't allow your circumstances to define you, and in spite of, you can make it. He's a proud graduate of the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. He graduated from Florida A&M University in broadcast journalism in 2009. He is married to his wife. He's been married now for 5 years. And he also has a beautiful daughter that's 20 months old. And he has had a successful career as an executive producer for local affiliates, as an anchor. He has worked in Oklahoma, he's worked in Atlanta, and he's also worked in WCTV, the CBS affiliate here in Tallahassee. And because of his talent, because of his tenacity, because of his commitment, he had the opportunity to serve as the Director of Public Affairs at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. He was the youngest to serve in this role, and because of his capacity, because of the value that he brought to the local community, he was able to start his own company and providing services and resources. It takes a lot to take nothing and turn it into something and sustain it. And so I'm always fascinated to interact with individuals that step out on faith. You know, greatness is acquired through adversity. If you want to be great, you cannot be afraid to fail. And so many of us, we put ourselves in a bubble, we box ourselves in. While speaking today, he has broken those barriers down, he has bust through those bubbles, he has broken down those walls because of his commitment. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce to some and present to others our speaker for this evening, Mr. Dontaye Carter.
Man, I wasn't ready for that. I'm extremely humbled today to see you all here. I really am. I am grateful for the opportunity to come out and speak. I was sitting back and I was thinking about back when Shonda called me, and I was like, man, like, gosh, I still remember bringing the mail to her desk on her WCPU. I still remember waiting for her to read the inmate mail. You know, you know, it was those moments that are the funniest, but they stick with you. You know, and they carry out over time. And so I'm just always been super grateful for your mentorship, your friendship, and just even thoughtfulness, you know, to ask me to come out today. I just want you to know I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to be honest and say this journey hasn't been easy for me. It's been difficult. But it's because of this journey that I've been able to help folks with the work that I've been able to do. And you know, there was a time when I questioned God a lot, but I've reached a place where I don't. It's less about asking why and more about asking when. And let me get over here and start. Is this the? Yes. Okay. Haha, my journey. I want to skip over that one, but I want to skip it because I want to start here with who is Dontaye Carter. You know, I'm pretty sure Shonda can let you all know that she did not know this guy. I don't want to say my wife changed me, but she changed me. And the story that she allowed me to see really changed the way I saw this world. You know, her fifth great grandfather was born a slave in this country. And for some reason, he decided that he wanted to buy his freedom. He decided he wanted to buy his wife's freedom, and he decided he wanted to buy his son's freedom. And when he obtained his freedom, he worked as a janitor over at Yale University. And as he's cleaning toilets, he's cleaning sinks, he's sweeping floors, he would bring his son with him to work and say, you know, one day you could attend this university. His son became the first African American to graduate from an Ivy League school. And he graduated from Yale Medical School. And it didn't stop there. You know, he opened up a medical practice, had one of the most diverse of his time. He graduated in 1857. Soon later, the Civil War broke out, and he decided that he wanted to serve. And he told him, no, we don't have any Negro soldiers, but you cannot serve. Well, lo and behold, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and they could not find any other doctor to serve because no one else wanted to treat the Negro soldiers. And so he became one of the leading doctors for the Union soldiers. And I just sit back and, you know, it's so funny, my wife and I talked, she was like, I swear you know that story better than I do. I'm like, hey, this is an inspiring story. But you know, because of his father's decision to decide that he was going to do something about the condition son became the first African American graduate. And it just really touched me in a way because, like, I don't get to this place of starting Carter immediately without hearing that story, without thinking about what can I do that's going to change my daughter's life. And I sit back and it's so funny because when my father-in-law first told me that story, I laughed at him, right? I laughed my tail off, and then go online, and Yale has a whole press release out about celebrating the anniversary of his graduation. And I sit back and I read through that press release, and I'm just like, wow. And it just inspired me all the more. And I share that story because stories are what connect us. Stories are the things that hold us together. Stories are the things that inspire us. His story is the reason that my daughter can attend Yale University if she decides to do so. There's a group called Daughters of the Civil Revolution. And for all the female descendants of the men that served in that war are automatically accepted. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, man, just because one man was brave enough to change the situation. And I'm not saying that everybody can do it. I know pressure affects us all differently. But I'm just inspired by what he was able to do. And so when I sit back and I think of who is Dontaye Carter, Dontaye's evolved a lot throughout the years. But I can tell you, marrying this lady, learning this story allowed me to see this world so much differently. You know, I did work in television news for close to a decade. Started working over at WCTV with Miss Knight here. I know it was rough for her because I was working overnight and I was going to school during the day, and I'm pretty sure she saw it in those scripts. But you know, it was great. Got an opportunity after that to go up to Valdosta to report. From Valdosta, I went out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and from Tulsa, Oklahoma, I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and you know, it was just such an amazing opportunity just to be able to tell their story. And it's so funny because I think back 3 years ago, and I was one of the reporters covering Bill Cosby, and then 2 years later, I'm on a PR team, you know, putting the information out about R. Kelly, and just seeing just how much life had changed for me. But it wasn't again that I just woke up and said I want to be I want to be different. Like there was an evolution that took place, and one that I'm really grateful for. And you know, it was over here at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office where I started to see the impact that I could make and I really started to understand those emotional connections. So he doesn't smile like this too often. So, you know, when I do choose, I'm going to take my picture. But, you know, when I first started with him, we were sitting over here and we were really trying to grow his social media platform. He had no idea whatsoever. Gayle King said that there was going to be a new interview dropping pertaining to that, we held a press conference. And I think I did like 5 or 6 press conferences that week, which it was a lot, but I really wanted to drive the point home of what was really going on. And so, let me see if I can get these to play.
I didn't go looking for a job in college. I was doing my shit. We brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with our family.
That is absolutely not true.
Gerald Briggs is the Savage family attorney.
At no point has Mr. Kelly ever met Timothy Savage.
And the Claries say they actually developed a professional relationship with R. Kelly over the next few months, even pitching various business deals, all of which he rejected.
We went to Chicago. We sat with him in his studio. We met with him. And he basically told us, yeah, I'm starting to work. Basically, y'all need to make a decision.
One year, Joycelyn Savage admitted she lied to her parents about her relationship with Kelly.
So this was actually one that I put up on social media, and I wanted to make it very clear that he lied on TV. And so what I did was I cut a piece of the CBS interview where he said they brought her to him. And then I brought it back to the place where her parents were standing with the attorney to reinforce that, yes, that was a lie. And then there was the phone recording where she admitted to another party that she didn't tell her parents anything about that. And it's very clear because I think in a case like this, I think the more that you can throw mud into the water, it's kind of hard to see the facts. And so I was very, very adamant about making sure that that we stuck to the facts of this case. I didn't want to get into the he said, she said. I wanted to stick strictly with the facts.
We brought her and asked a friend of mine.
And in sticking with the facts, so this was the last press conference we did. And what we did was, it was, I believe it was a Friday, and the attorney, he was asking me, like, man, I'm kind of overwhelmed here, man. I know this guy's lying. I'm really frustrated that, the news media is fact-checking him the way that I feel like he needs to be fact-checked. And he just keeps putting more and more mud out there, more and more mud out there, more and more mud out there, more and more mud out there. And I asked him, I said, so legally, what options do we have? And he said, well, the only option is these plaintiffs that I came in contact with. And they list some of the women's names and their ages. And all the women were underage. And there were plane tickets that R. Kelly had paid for to fly these girls across state lines to see. And so I said, well, we're going to lay that case out on national TV. And that's essentially what we did right here.
Of an American Airlines ticket for one of the individuals that we believe is being held against her will, that was dated on April the 29th, 2015, which is clearly showing that she would have been underage when she arrived in the custody and control of Robert Sylvester Kelly. So again, the ball is in Mr. Kelly's court. Make Jocelyn Savage available to her parents in person in a neutral city or Atlanta, Georgia, so we can have a direct conversation with her about this alleged consensual relationship. And should you continue to defame my client, you will see us in a court of law in Fulton County, Georgia.
So a lot of people are asking the big question of, well, why didn't the families just go up to Chicago soldiers and guards. Well, I mean, there were a lot of death threats that were made. You know, one of R. Kelly's managers, he's sitting on trial right now in court, and not for Henry County, because he had threatened to kill the father. And so there was a lot going on there, and out of really just wanting to ensure that no one got injured, it was, we'll either meet you in that land or in a third-party city. And that was really the biggest thing, to ensure that nobody else was hurt. But I think what's so special about this one is it was after this press conference that the feds called us, because we laid out the case, and you've got a minor that's going across state lines. And, you know, they looked at what we had, and, you know, of course from there, I mean, he's facing charges and federal charges in multiple states. And there was a lot to this case. But it took a lot of me not just knowing the information of the case, but also knowing the questions that the viewers, that people had. And one of the things that I'm really big on is I was in the comment section. Every platform, Facebook, YouTube, every news site, I was in the comment section. And folks were just like, man, how do you're coming up with so many responses so quick? Because I'm in the comment section. I'm prepared to respond to folks. And we are constantly having these conversations. And it's so crazy, because a lot of those questions that were being asked are legit questions. Why not answer them? Why not? Because I think sometimes we have this false sense that, you know, you just say something, you just put it out on the internet, and nobody's going to respond to it. I look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I look at them all as individual channels, television channels. They're all their own little channels. And in each channel, I'm looking at ways to connect to the people who are engaging with us. And so really just being able to dive deep and dive into those comment sections, it was really helpful. But not only just me, though, preparing the attorneys to respond. Because there were people who were asking them some really good questions. And it's really about educating. We're engaging in information. And the more important you educate people about your cause and raising awareness, the more important you can build that following. And that's what we kept doing. We just continue to build and build and build that following. And I mean, literally, by that last press conference, you know, he had fired his second PR person. Was looking to hire a third one. And we were just seeing that it was all falling apart, but it was because we were engaged. It really engaged in raising awareness. And so, when it comes to helping your client in this digital age, I'm just really huge with making sure that they're prepared to respond. Because the reality is people don't always want to hear from the PR people. The reality is when something goes wrong, they want to hear from the horse's mouth. And the horse is your client. So how do we prepare them to respond? And so being able to sit down, have those discussions with them, and make sure that they're ready to respond via social media. You know, reiterating that silence is never the answer. So that was it was a nice quick snippet there, but I didn't want to go too long because I wanted to make sure that I could answer any questions that anyone had. So, were there any questions? Yes.
What's something that you learned while you were in Tallahassee that you didn't apply and now you have your own journey?
I think one of the things that I've really been able to learn, or one of the things that I've learned in Tallahassee, is just the importance to detail. And again, I think that was probably one of the big lessons that I learned from this night there. Just working overnight and her, are you missing a word in this sentence? Are you sure? Do you have this thing down? But yeah, it just, I think it was one of those ones where you just, especially in the space that I'm in now, because you missing a detail, not only can your entire sentence just that importance of detail and really, really being detail oriented. So I think that's really huge. Yes, ma'am.
How is working with attorneys confining or not unconfining compared to other things? There's usually some head butting that goes on between PR people and legal folks. How for those who are not necessarily practitioners in our industry, how is it working with an attorney and how is the dynamic being in the position that you were in versus other positions?
Well, so I think, so the attorney you saw here is Attorney Gerald Briggs. He and I have a really, really good relationship. There are a lot of other attorneys that I work with, and we don't have the same type of relationship. You know, there was one where I really, it was kind of tough because when I sat down with my advisory board, they were just like, yo, this just isn't going to work because of the head button. And so what I really tried to focus on is, okay, from a temperament standpoint, from a personality standpoint, who can I really get along with, making sure that I'm really vetting them early and often, because I think the reason why with some of the cases I've had much success is because with those attorneys, they yielded to my knowledge and experience. Whereas I've had some cases where they spun out of control, but it wasn't on my own doing, it was the fighting the entire way. So my biggest thing has been trying to keep myself out of those situations. So, because I mean, it's difficult, you know. It's kind of like working with a doctor, you know. Just that level of education and knowledge, and kind of this one way, this is where we are, this is where it's going. And so, just trying to find the people that they're able to say, you know what, I see what you're doing here, and I'm able to do it with you. So. Yes.
I definitely started to think that question too. I was really excited that you're here. So in terms of like you've been on national media, interviews. Can you talk about some experiences, whether race or surviving or near disasters? How was it for you when it comes to having guidance or advice?
Yeah, I would. You know, I think my biggest frustration can be, and I'm pretty sure everybody has this frustration in the room, is, you know, you can lay out to the reporter in the best way how they can best tell this story, and it goes from that layout that you gave them to something completely different, and you're just like, how in the world did we get here? Like, I laid it out for you, and you still got it wrong. But what I'm starting to see is, if I'm having a story that I'm so worried about, in terms of them getting it wrong, I'll tell it myself. And I'll hire a video crew. Because we had one story, just a few of the cases that we've been called into work with in some of the office involved cases. And so we had one case that we couldn't get the right traction on. And then when traction started, it was just completely wrong. And so we told the story ourselves. I came in with my video team. We went back to the crime scene, had the attorney break down what happened, interviewed the victim's family, and we put it on social media ourselves. And it literally hit 1.4 million times overnight. And it was really us just getting into the analytics, making sure that we're talking to the right people. And as soon as, and it was so funny because as soon as that happened, they were running it, you know, we learned, and I'm like, yo, y'all better call, you know, I'm gonna give it the interview, you know, but it's so funny, but you know, I'm just really big on just putting pressure on them, telling them stories, and I mean, honestly, I'm paid to work in favor of my client, so really, you know, telling the stories in a way that's really gonna get my client's message out. Yes, sir.
Can you talk about an idea or a strategy you had to self-lab, just be backfire, and how you handle that or table that? Yeah, what didn't work and how you kind of reevaluate there?
You know, it's so funny. I feel like, you know, whenever it comes to PR, everything's like, you know, because you never know what the media wants to do. You never know what their agenda is. And so there could be one strategy that you can use for a case like R. Kelly with all the attraction in the world. And then you can use that same strategy for another case that you think there's just as much, I guess, celebrity, and it just doesn't go anywhere. And so I'm trying to think specifically to two cases. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm just covering officer shooting, but that's been the taste of the season so far this year. But yeah, we had one where a mother was she was beaten in front of her 4-year-old daughter by a police officer, and he said he saw her vehicle. It looked like a vehicle that was described in the robbery. It wasn't the same vehicle, and you know, we literally were doing everything the same way that we did with R. Kelly, and got no traction on the case, none whatsoever. And it was so frustrating for me because it was cell phone video, and you just assume, oh, there's cell phone video, it's gonna go ham, it's gonna go wired. But you know, I think you know the public also has this limit, right? Like if you're always seeing constantly what happens, well, you're probably less likely to react to it once you see it that 10th or 20th time. And so we really had to sit down and think, okay, this is a serious case. How do we really all kind of engage in? And I think, you know, for us it was just, I forgot what they had sent out, but they sent out something about the case. I think they had suspended the officer, and there was a news station that had picked up the case, and they had tied it into another case that we also had, that we also worked with him on. And I just hadn't thought about it, and I saw that they had it connected, and I said, you know what, well, let's run with it too. And we relaunched it, and it just took off. So, you know, I mean, a lot of things that we do is just hit yesterday. I think the more that I think the better you are at troubleshooting you are, and really finding new ways of getting that message out. Because I mean, it's a constant. I don't know, I just feel like sometimes you just never know. It's so funny. I got a call from the VP from the International Public Relations Association in Montreal. She was asking, she was like, it just seems like you've got so much momentum on the calendar. And I was like, yeah, but it's a celebrity too. You know, like, we can't apply the same strategy to everything across the board. Like, yeah, we're able to get it going, but let's not act like it's that same strategy. I think we're just in a day and age where we've got a lot more access because of the internet. So how do we leverage that to get our clients' messages out? Like, and I'm just always constantly thinking of how do I leverage these platforms? What do I need to do to leverage that? So, yes.
When you talk about using analytics and then applying those and reaching your target audience, can you elaborate on exactly how you're doing that? Are you doing ads to targeted audiences, or are you telling a story through the viewpoint of that audience? Can you elaborate on that?
So there's a few ways, right? So you can, there might be a social media influencer that Facebook and Twitter, everybody changed the way they are because people are getting so clever with identifying the age groups, the habits. I mean, once you can get into the habits, because like even with Gerald, one of the first things that we did with him is I had him create a questionnaire. I was like, who are the people that follow? Who are the people that come and see you constantly? And he said, well, typically their grandmothers and their mothers who, children may have been arrested. And so, well, let's figure out what their habits are. Because once you can identify a group of those folks, and then you start talking to them and talking to them over and over again, and they're sharing the content. And so that's what I'm really big on is really just making sure that I've got a good idea of what their ages are. I've got all their habits. Because, I mean, that's the thing that, like, these social platforms allow you to get very detailed with what the habits are. And as long as because you can tell if they're spot on. Because there are some times where I get in there and they say, you can hit 3 million people. And I'm like, yeah. But then you only hit 3,000. Well, you obviously went wrong somewhere very quickly. And so it's going back and troubleshooting. Okay, where was I off at within those analytics, and just really troubleshooting coming back. Because I think the better we get at it, the less you'll see digital marketers. Because I mean that's all they're doing, and as long as we're strong in those areas. Because we're telling the story. All they're doing is seeing the numbers. And so it's easier to call it a digital marketer or digital strategist than to find the numbers. But what happens when you already have an idea of what those key factors are and those habits and what I'm saying? Just all the little details that make up your viewing audience. So, yes.
So you were talking about telling stories about witnesses and things like that, and I assume that was while you were still at the DA's office.
DA's office and a lot of things.
Right. Now I get it. I mean, it's really that's not a problem.
And it's so funny because one of my mentors said that the legal cases are never won. They're won in the legal well before. And it was so funny because I honestly hadn't thought about it. I mean, I wasn't living in that. But she was just bringing home the facts. She's like, I have not seen anybody do what you did with Mark Kelly since the radio was trial. And radio was at all. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, you go back and research what happened with the radio was trial and look at what you did with R. Kelly. And as I went back and started reading, I was like, wow, they changed the way that people saw Ramon. They humanized him. He was walking in the court with his wife, with his kids. They changed, we didn't stop seeing him as the guy that was involved in his stab and murder. We started to see him in this humanized version. And so the person who tells the better story, he gets the better story in front of the right audience. So, yes. Oh man, it's like I feel like it's changing by the day, especially with the internet. I think what you're going to see more of is as these new social media platforms come out, you're going to see us having to learn how to change our messages to fit those platforms. Like, from TikTok, Instagram, everything, that they start IGTV, and so I think the best thing that we can do is, especially when it comes to our clients that we're looking to protect their image, is creating enough content to where when that negative press comes, it doesn't hit as hard as it would have when they didn't have any content up. You want to constantly, I'm just really big on constantly telling stories, constantly reiterating your story, because if you look at how everything is lining up, like if you look at Google, if you look at all these social media platforms, they're all leveraging the work that your client has out there. And so if that work isn't the best version of them, I mean, one piece of negative publicity can take a career. Like, I mean, I'm really big on not just not just getting folks a bunch of publicity, because if it doesn't help the bottom line, I mean, what are we doing, right? And so, like, I mean, even with Gerald, with what we were able to do with the R. Kelly case, I mean, that led to him receiving 500 new clients. And I mean, we had that story for what, 6-7 months, you know, at the height of everything that was going on. And so I've got an idea of kind of what he charges. I mean, you're talking about 2.5 million that's now in his sales funnel. Like, so for him, he's like, oh, cool, man. Not only did you get my client awareness, but I got some more money, you know? And so, but I think the more that we can show that type of value as well, it kind of allows us to really let folks know, like, hey, these are the results that I'm producing. So, yes.
So you talked at the beginning about how what motivated you really kind of walking down for target be the opportunity you want to take. How do you, when you're hiring people, how do you look for that?
I'll be honest, that has been one of the most difficult processes for me. You know, it's so funny because I remember applying for a job. You're like, oh, I'm the best candidate. I'm the best this. I mean, and it's so funny because, like, even with the DA's position, so, like, I didn't realize it until, like, halfway through my first year that I wasn't his first pick. I was like, man, you know. So, but when I found out, you know, that I wasn't his first pick, I was like, see, God knew what you needed, you know. You needed me. But, you know, the woman that he wanted, she had a checkered past. And, you know, she had some things that kind of popped up on her background check. And so, but I don't know, it's been so crazy because, you know, I'm going through, like, additional training with, like, my advisory board that I hired to kind of help me out with all these things. And they've been having me take all these different personality tests because, I mean, it's just been it's been a fear one of, you know, handing over reins, and I've had to do that with 3 or 4 people now, you know, and I'm trying not to let it get too spiraled out, but really just trying to get an idea, okay, what do you want out of life? What are you trying to do? And really trying to see if my goals and my aspirations line up similar to theirs. Because, I mean, that's been, I mean, even with Dave here, really just me and him talking about what what are your long-term goals? What do you want? What are you seeing? What are you envisioning? And me really getting a better idea of who he is as a person. It's like, you know what? Okay, I can see this relationship working. Because, I mean, you all know you can't just hire somebody and fire somebody. You know, it just doesn't work like that. And so it's been tough, and I think I've gotten to a place where I've kind of had to yield to that advisory board and help me out in that process. Because it's been, they'll help me to get to that top 3, those top 2, but it's like, it can be tough, you know, and so, and that's why I'm really grateful. I try to make sure that I've also got the right people around me, and that's why, you know, I have that board in place to just make sure that everything that we have going on just keeps moving forward. So I hope that answers it. Yes.
For the Olympics that are on today, what would be your top 3 recommendations for protecting their personal brand so that they don't damage themselves before they know how to seek a job, an education, a scholarship, etc.? What would be your top 5 tips for them to protect their personal brand, whether it be on social media or appearance or what have you? What is your advice to them?
Yeah, you know, I think it's being at a place of, you know, so it's so funny. I mean, if you Google me, there's stuff about Dontaye on MySpace that pops up. And the Dontaye on MySpace is not the Dontaye that I want anybody seeing at all. You know, it's like, oh man, Dontaye on MySpace, that was the worst decision in the world. And I mean, the thing about the internet is nothing really goes away. If you know where to look, you can always find the material. And so I would encourage people to be careful. Like, if it's kind of like getting a tattoo, right? It's like it looks good when you're in your 20s, and then when you get 30 and 40, You know, you really can't keep up the physique the same way. You know, it just doesn't, it doesn't look good anymore. And so just being very aware of that, because, and if you do have pictures up that you're worried about, making sure that you're constantly putting up new and fresh content to where it continues to push all that other stuff down. Because, I mean, it's just tough. Like, there's a pedophile in Baltimore, Maryland with my name. I'm like, bro, like, you're killing me. You know, like, seriously. Like, how you gonna touch kids with my name? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. And so it gets really frustrating. And so what I do, because I know that his profile is out there, and I know that his, what do they call it? It's not COs, but you know, the folks who check in up on him, they put his weekly updates online. I'm constantly posting content to make sure that there's if somebody's Googling or looking me up, that there's a difference. Make sure that there's enough space between who that guy is and who I am. So, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, but you just got to constantly be mindful. You know, again, Dontaye on MySpace was not a good idea.
On your personal social media, you tell, of course, your business story, but you also tell your family story. You're very big on sharing your moments with your daughter, and because you're a former journalist, obviously that video lays up on storytelling. But what advice can you give to everyone as far as advancing your brand as dad?
Yeah. So it's so funny. One of my neighbors, he was an attorney, and he hates posting about his family online. He is like, it's all me, no family, no family. I was like, bro, that's the stupidest idea in the world. He was like, well, you know, you don't deal with what I deal with, so you won't know. And I'm like, bro, at this place that we're in, I don't know if that stuff is as easy to hide. And the way I feel is, if anything's going to be shown about my kid, I want to be shown it, and I want to be telling that story. Because, I mean, his wife is still telling that story, you know? And so it's still out there. And I just believe that there's, I think whenever you can show, what's the word I'm looking for? I think being able to show the different sides of a person provides such great value. I think, you know, when you see how, like for me, when you see how much I love my daughter, you can see why I care so much about the issues that I take on. You see that, you can see why. I think the more that you can really share your why and tell that story of why I do what I do, what are my motivating factors, the more that you can add content to your character and who you are, I think it goes so much more. Because I mean, at the end of the day, right, people do business with who they like. That's what it comes down to. You know, if they like Dontaye, they'll do business with Dontaye. Well, how do they know if they're going to have an affinity for Dontaye if they don't necessarily know him? Well, what does his social media platforms look like? What is he constantly putting out? You know, and I mean, those are some of the first discussions that I have with folks when I'm sitting down for the first time. They say, oh my goodness, your daughter's so cute. You see my kid? Where'd you see my kid at? On your Facebook page. You know, and it's like, sometimes, like, even though I'm constantly doing it, even I can sometimes forget. But that's their first connection with me. And that's a part of me that they'll have that affinity for. And then it's like, okay, wow, and he's extremely talented in PR and really telling stories and really making sure that we're dialed into the right audience. Yes. Well, it wasn't my strategy, but like, you know, my wife's strategy this last week was putting us on a boat in the middle of the ocean where I didn't have internet access, you know. And, you know, she just kept saying, you know, let everybody know you're going to be out of pocket. Let everybody know you're going to be out of pocket. But that is one thing that I've got to work on and definitely do a better job of is because, I mean, there's always I feel like for me, there's always another case. You know, there's always more. There's always so much more that needs to be accomplished. And I'm one of those guys where it's like, you know, once I step into the ring, I'm there to win. And so but being mindful that, you know, I've got a family also outside that ring, and being very mindful of them, and making sure that I'm, you know, spending the same amount of time with them as well. And I mean, it's, you know, there's that give and take, you know. I think, you know, life, family life, business life, I think it's all demanding. You know, it's just trying to find, I don't know, you know, it's trying to figure a way to make it all work. Y'all let me know if y'all find somebody that's done it so I can study them, you know, because, I mean, it just seems like it can be a lot. But, you know, I'm just, like I said, just trying to take it step by step and just continue to push that needle forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Incredible, and I know that I walked away with a meaningful note. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard to say thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you all. Thank you.
And thank you all for coming, and hope to see you in person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Oh, you got your flash drive back?
yeah. Well, you know, it was so.
Oh, you want me to? Why is it shut down? I cancel that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to shut it down?